Well, here we are at Furness Wargames Society, and we're doing Flames of War. It's a mid-war encounter. It is British Paratroopers versus Italian Fucilieri in the wilds of Sicily. This is my opponent, Mr. Kieran Bradbury, Wave of Her Majesty's Scots Guards, and you'll be seeing lots of him because I'm far too ugly to be shown on these things. You're supposed to say you disagree with that, Kieran. Now, what you've got here, you've got to go through your army, Kieran. These are paras.
Yeah, got platoon of infantry, parachute platoon, 6-pounder at the tank section, and another platoon with the rest off.
The rest is off.
Yeah, the rest is off. Recce platoon, another platoon of infantry.
And there's a hurricane there which is facing off against the Italian theatre at the moment. A full-on engagement. Over here we've got the Italians. We've got one of their huge infantry platoons. It's 17 rifle groups with an attached battery of light mortars. That picture of Benito there is the objective, and we're playing the hasty attack scenario, so they've gone to ground and dug in. Another objective chosen by my opponent, Sophie Loren in underwear. Notice how he's got it facing towards him. Here we've got some Italian 1953s defending this hill, and yet another infantry platoon along this hill here. And back another mortar battery, and the rest of my units are off. It's a hasty attack, and because it's a British infantry, they're attacking at night, so they've moved forward a little bit here with the AT guns, and we're about to go into turn one. The British are about to make the first turn, and we'll see how we go. So you can see a wide overview of the battlefield. Sorry for all the noise, there's a lot of gaming going on here tonight. And you see, it's a very good defensive position, as you can see, but in mitigation I would play that my opponent did choose it, so he set it up, so he's got to throw his paras against this. Well, we'll see how we go at the end of turn one. It's the end of British turn two. The Italians at the end of their turn one opened up a tremendous barrage from their 90mm guns, and 12 shots at the 6-pounders and destroyed 2 of them, but the rest of the Italians couldn't see anything. The British have moved up, their reserve didn't come in, their snipers have pinned both of the Italian infantry platoons. The infantry there opened fire and scored another 5 hits anyway, but they were already pinned, and they saved all the saves, and they called in some artillery on the guns here, and that was pinned as well, but managed to make all saving throws. So the British are closing in, but at the moment the Italians are just digging for cover. So go. 3 dice now. 2 lot, 1 lot, 2 lots. Is it? One. It's 5 or 6s. This one, yeah. Kieran's just managed to get his first reserves on. His troops have charged up here. I caught that platoon with a pretty effective mortar bombardment, and followed up with some fire, and we killed 3 units, including his platoon commander. Not that it matters, his 2 ICs over there. But apart from that, he fired back and failed to unpin the big guns, and also this infantry platoon, and he's getting very close to the old Sophie Loren there. It could be quite a fight over here in a moment. So he's bringing on his reserves now. His snipers have been pretty effective, and you're doubling these as well, are you? Yeah. Well, we'll see how we go at the end of his turn. Turn 3, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Okay, it's the end of the British turn 3.
We've got an assault first.
Oh, he's going to do an assault. Oh, so we are going to do an assault.
Otherwise I'll get shot to pieces.
His reserves came on, they doubled up and nobody shot at them. These guys dug in, opened fire and took out one of the Italian 90mm guns. He seems to have a paranoid fear of the 90mm guns. I can't imagine why. The rest of these guys still pinned. Nobody else has been killed though. We're all dug in and just not moving because we're very scared. So he's now going to do this assault, okay?
Captain Chaos is going in.
Okay. Alright, let's go do this assault then. So, throw the boys in. And what a result it was, a tremendous fight there. The Paras stormed across, and you can see this a whole legion of dead Italians. We lost less than 10 groups. That's an entire, actually we're at half strength. That's a morale check, which is a problem as we've lost the commander. No, it's less than half. We don't quite take one. Whoa, that's very close. We killed off his company commander, and we killed a couple more, but there's still 4 Paras, and they're very close to smiling Benito there, the Duce. This could be very ominous. It's our turn 3. We could be already losing this game already. Congratulations and hatred, Kieran. Okay, well, it's a stand-up back to the end of Italian turn 3. The Italians have been forced to move their mortars. One unit's been moved back here to back up the rather tatty platoon, which is only holding on because the company commander has joined them, the 2 IC has joined them, and they're confronting the Paras in front of that picture of Benito. This gun is still not unpinned, it couldn't see anything, and the Italians have started moving their back ranks over in some huge movement over to here. And the Brits are poised ominously close to the objectives. So it's start of turn 4 for the Brits. Knight did not fall. So here we go.
Nope, not with 2 ones.
So that's still no reserves?
No, that's just Knight, sorry.
Oh yeah, Knight, okay. So you roll for your reserves now, and it's turn 4, so you get 4 dice.
Oh, they're coming.
2 in.
That's
okay.
The last ones.
Alright. It's going to be very difficult because the Italians haven't got any reserves left either. So we'll see what comes up.
So I've gone up with the vehicles now.
It's the end of Italian turn 5, wasn't it? 4. Night has finally ended, so it's now in full daylight. The Brits have brought on their reconnaissance platoon of jeeps who are moving up at full speed. These guys are also slowly edging towards the other objective, and the guns are still there. They've actually finally managed to dig in finally. That's about it. The British snipers opened fire and picked off 1 of the Italians on this flank. The rest of them are slowly edging over here. The Italians have brought on some guns to cover there, and their platoon over here counterattacked and wiped out the paratroopers. However, they are now below half strength, so they will have to make a morale check. But they are fearless, so we're kind of hoping if they aren't, then the jeeps are going to sweep in. Unless we get some reserves, we're in some trouble. But anyway, we'll see what happens, and it's time for the British turn 5. Oh, the planes came in, Luigi came in, but the Hurricane intercepted him and drove him off. Flashart, Lord Flashart, yes, that's the man, yes. So back to British turn 5. Turn 5, and the Paras are all over Sofia, as you can see. They're kind of a joke. They pushed and destroyed my artillery, my 1953 battery, which is failed them around roll and run.
It's basically fighting him.
Over here, the counterattack actually, in spite of all the dead Italians, the counterattack captured and pushed off and destroyed the Paras. Then these jeeps came up and opened fire and just destroyed them. So they've run off as well, taking my 2 IC with them. So I've lost 2 platoons and he's now lost 1. He's got on the objective there. The other one doesn't look very well defended. So we are in quite some trouble because the only 3 platoons we've got, the artillery's been smoked, so that only 1 or 2 of them can see. And these infantry are pinned, so can't do anything. We need to get them out of being pinned rather urgently. And over here, we just have to hope some reserves come on to try and stop that. The only advantage we've got is that these things can't get across the river. They'll have to dismount and move over. So I've got a bit of time to counterattack, but it's still getting very close. So we'll see what happens at the end of Italian. The Italian last infantry platoon came on just at the right moment. It's done a vantage Savoia. They're taking up position on the reverse side of the hill, and they're disputing there with the paratroopers. The guns opened fire and took 2 out, and the mortars opened fire and took another 1. But he hasn't even pinned, and he's still down there. There's another unit coming up. Luigi turned up in his plane, but unfortunately he bombed the guns, and unfortunately he missed. Well, he hit the command team, but I'm afraid they didn't manage to kill him. And other than that, these people are still pinned by these bloody snipers, who are these guys here. We're just picking them out slowly but surely. So it's still in the balance, and it's about to be British turn 6. And the waves are getting close. The Sophia's there is completely overstretched. The paratroopers try to avoid the guns. They smoke them up very nicely. Then they assaulted here, and they killed a few Italians. The Italians killed them back. Then the Italians retreated off. They failed it. He consolidated but failed his morale, and even re-rolled it, and he still failed. So his company commander has disappeared together with that platoon. This platoon launched an attack over here, but some excellent Italian shooting killed off the assaulting groups before they could hit them. So that attack has also failed. So he's now lost 2 platoons and his company commander. We need to just kill 1 more platoon somehow, and we should be okay. Unfortunately, these are still pinned, these are smoked, and these are only conscripts, and there's not many of them left anymore. But so we'll see how it goes as we're going to Italian turn 6. The infantry came on in the right place. We've brought a machine gun team and some more guns up, and they've advanced Savoy successfully, even though they're both reluctant trained. They moved up here and killed off another paratrooper, and they're now holding that hill pretty firmly, and the machine guns are in position here. These guys are still pinned, and these guys managed to bop off a paratrooper in through that smoke. There's not many paras left, but then there really doesn't need to be, does there? So it's all a question of what can happen. We're coming down to the wire, and we're coming on to team 7. We're just going to have a quick look around from the other side. As Kieran says, there always seems to be more Italians coming on. There's just so many of them. They're just vast. And these paras, even though they're heavily outnumbered, they are so good. You know, it really was touch and go there. And just for everybody else, we're just closing on Sophia there, because that really is a good look. Okay.
Well, I wasn't expecting the machine guns to be taken off though. I was expecting them to be butchered.
Well, you see, they moved, so it's only get 5, 6, 7 from 6. Yeah, the machine guns came on and probably got wiped out, but at least they managed to protect the guns. He's back in possession of Sophia again. She likes getting mauled over, and there doesn't seem to be much to counterattack unless these guys finally manage to unpin. They've failed about 4 times now, and they only needed 4, 5, 6. Isn't that brilliant? These guys, however, have held. They've shot up my platoon. They've killed the platoon commander, which means I can't counterattack. But on the other hand, they have got a good position there, so they've decided to dig in. It's getting quite close to the wire, and it's turn 7 for the Italians. We expect nothing less of the paras to be on the objective right at the very end. But tragically, the Italians counterattacked down here. They drove and wiped the paras out. The company commander's gone. They've lost 3 platoons, so I'm afraid that the paras withdraw to lick their wounds, leaving a veritable ocean of blood all over this hill. Most of it of Italian extraction. And these idiots, reluctant trained troops, who just spent the entire game being pinned by a couple of snipers.
Only because he just managed to get his guys to the thing. I'm sure he got his guys over, he'd have lost.
Yeah.
But,
Portuguese across the shores instead of 1.
Yeah.
So amazingly, the honour of Italy is upheld.
Actually,
how many bases did you use up there? 16, 17?
Well, more, probably about 20 teams. I mean, one entire team.
They're full of them.
Yeah.
And that's the same points cost as the army gear now.
Well, everything here is the same.
That's brutal.
It is, yeah. Well, it's because the Italians aren't very good. To all intents and purposes, yeah. I mean, it can get really quite bizarre, but there you go.
I love all this. I think this, even though you don't have to have it, it's character full of hell, isn't it?
He loves it.
Proper
I don't know why I do it, actually. It makes him feel good. It doesn't make me feel good seeing loads of dead Italian models everywhere.
It's just excellent.
And we'll just have a last zoom in on Sophia there. Isn't that a wonderful sight?
As well.
Yeah, I made those, yeah.
That's cool.